This video is presented to you by Anuj Jindal. We are covering daily current affairs of 31st and 31st July 2017. If you want to solve the daily quiz for RBI, you can log on to www.anujjindal.in. If you want to get the complete advanced course for RBI Grade B 2018, you can log on to my website, or you can also visit my Facebook group, which is called as Success RBI Grade B 2018. Let's talk about the first important item, which is that the chairman of Insolvency and Bankruptcy Board of India. So, Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code and also IBPI, that is Insolvency and Bankruptcy Board of India, have been in news recently because of a lot of powers which have been provided by RBI to IBC. So, chairman name of chairman becomes important, which is MS Sahu. Next is method followed by China to decide RMB daily exchange rate. This came in the news recently and it becomes important because of number one, India-China standoff which is happening. Number two, whatever is happening in the global markets with reference to inflation and growth. Since 2005, China has been following the managed floating exchange rate system, under which it used to intervene regularly to manage RMB's value within a band while allowing it to move freely within a day. So, what would happen is this is a day, so the value of RMB would be allowed to fluctuate within a band, but at the end of the day, let's say the value of RMB with respect to US dollar is, let's say, 6.14. So at the starting of the next day, opening price would also be 6.14. This is one aspect of managed floating exchange rate system. And the second is there is a band created. So RMB is allowed to fluctuate only within this band. And if it goes out of this band, then the Central Bank of China would intervene. So this is what is called as managed floating exchange rate system, which China used to follow since 2005. Since 2015, China has given up its intervention in daily opening rate. So this has been given up. So if the closing price is, let's say, 6.14, the opening could be anything, 7.14, it could be 5.10, it could be anything. So this intervention which used to happen between the closing and opening price has been given up by China. This has been done for a reason, that is inclusion of IMF Chinese currency in IMF's SDR currency basket. So Chinese currency was recently included in IMF's SDR currency basket, and one of the conditions was to give up this intervention which used to happen every day. Next is very important with respect to the fact. So Air India debt, the overall debt of Air India is 48,876 crore. Only this fact out of this entire picture is important for us. The second thing which is important is number of subsidiaries which Air India has. So Air India has charters, Air India has transport services, engineering services, Singapore airport terminal services, as well as real estate properties. So these are all are subsidiaries of Air India. Air India is functioning in all these areas as well. So this becomes important because Air India is on the verge of getting sold out. Next is who is the owner of Panther FinCap. This has been changed recently and the name is Ketan Parekh. Brand ambassador of GST, you all know about him, Amitabh Bachchan, but I just thought that we repeat it again so that you remember it. Reasons for low inflation in financial year 2017 so far. What are the major reasons for low inflation? There are many reasons. The major reasons are base effect of 2016-17 financial year, because the inflation was considerably low and considerably in control in the financial year 16-17 as well. Therefore, due to the base effect, the inflation in financial year 17-18 has also been low. Second is fall in gross fixed capital formation. So IIP numbers and other numbers have been telling us that the gross fixed capital formation has been going down consistently, which means that the number of assets which are created in the country on a year-to-year basis are going down regularly. So gross fixed capital formation, as the name itself suggests, means the fixed capital formation which is happening in the economy. Fixed capital formation means number of assets which are generated or occupied by the people of the country in the economy within a financial year. So there is a consistent fall in gross fixed capital formation, and the last one is twin balance sheet problem. Now what is happening because of twin balance sheet problem? The banks are not willing to lend because they do not have a lot of money in their hands. There's a lot of NPA. Their balance sheets are not very attractive, so they are not lending very much. When they do not lend, investors or companies do not have a lot of investments, so these companies are not able to invest, and when these companies are not able to invest and come out with new products or more supply of existing products, then there are less products in the market. When there are less products or less innovations or less investment happening in the market, then inflation goes down because there is less demand and also less supply in the market. So this is what is happening in the economy because of clean balance sheet problem. The next is FGFA. It is called as fifth generation fighter aircraft. India and Russia have signed a 6 billion contract which is to be finalized soon. They have not yet signed it. It is to be finalized soon for joint development of fifth generation fighter aircrafts. Remember that Sukhoi Su-30 is fourth generation. There are 4.5th generation fighter aircrafts also coming in, and India and Russia are on to sign a contract to join fifth generation fighter aircrafts. Who benefits from rupee appreciation? This is important to remember. So, rupee appreciation has the following impacts on exports and imports. Let's take the easier ones first. The imports become cheaper. So, what happens is whatever luxurious imports we are taking into the country become more attractive and increase, but whatever necessary imports we are carrying out, like oil imports, they become cheaper and therefore our trade deficit also goes down. So, this is how imports help the economy as well. Exporters lose out. So, this is an important one. Exporters lose out because now the currency becomes more expensive, and exporters, the price of goods that they're exporting becomes more expensive. Next is investors in India, FPI and FDIs, they gain. Why do they gain? Whenever there is a rupee appreciation, the equity market gains. The equity market gains because their profits, considerable profits rise, and the amount of money that they have to give as debt or as dividend to the foreign investors or to the foreign borrowers also goes down, and therefore the equity markets go up. When the equity markets are going up, the investors in India, FPIs and FDIs, also stand to gain. So this is how benefit and loss of rupee appreciation happens in the economy. Next is the number of active military personnel in the economy, in different economies, in different countries. This is very important because of India-China standoff. So China has the largest army in terms of military personnel, which is more than 2 million people. The US stands second, so this ranking becomes important. India is at third, US is at second, and China is at first. So this is all about current affairs for 30th and 31st July. Next, we'll be talking about current affairs for 1st August.